Good morning. It is, oh God, what is it? Thursday morning? Oh, time is flying. Can't be Thursday morning. Today's the 15th. That's Thursday morning. Holy hot sauce on a bun, Batman. Let me check. Oh God, it is November. Oh, I've got court. Anyway. So today is the 15th of November, as it sank in so rapidly into my brain. Let's talk about my channel and what my channel is all about. Now, my greatest passion is, of course, the First Amendment. But if you remember why I started making videos, if you think back really hard, I've explained this before. It's because people were lying to the community and they were making misleading or erroneous statements of the law to the community. Now, I think with that 40-minute video I did last night, I showed pretty clearly that that guy who erroneously named himself I'm a skeptic when he's really a believer, I think I showed pretty clearly that he was lying to the community and he was making erroneous statements of law. Of course, all of this came up because Two Truth for Liberty, who generally, you know, I've been pounding on Two Truth for Liberty, and let me just say that his statements of law on First Amendment issues have been generally within the realm of good knowledge, generally. I mean, he's had some stinkers, but I've hearted more than a few of his statements of law because they were, if not correct, they were close enough to correct to be passable in the field. But when it comes to, he was pressuring me on two things. Number one, I had to disprove his claim about judges giving instructions, recommending procedures. I'm sure he's thinking I'm strawmanning now, but at the end of the day, this did start from Chauncey going in with a motion to be able to depose two people. And he came out after the judge granted him the opportunity to depose a completely different person that wasn't on his motion. And my theory is that the judge said, basically, you're trying to depose the wrong people. You're trying to depose people who won't have care, custody, and control of the information you're looking for. Maybe you should depose an IT person. That was my contention. Two Truth for Liberty came in with judges rarely recommend procedures. So he doesn't think that the judge recommended that to Chauncey. Well, I still think the judge recommended that to Chauncey because I don't think Chauncey's smart enough to come up with that himself. I've read his pleadings. So, straw man or not, whatever, that's my understanding of it. And I think he's wrong. And I've shown several times, or I've shown at least once. And I have I'm pretty sure Mud Wheelin's an attorney, although he is still the best paralegal I never had. And he also agrees. And you find me an attorney who doesn't think the judges recommend things like that pretty regularly. It's a fairly common thing for a judge to make a suggestion. Hey, why don't you guys try mediation? It looks like your case is ripe for mediation. Things like that. So he kept pressuring me on wanting me to make a further statement, because I had already said that the Fourth Amendment and Fifth Amendment do not prevent states from mandating vaccines. Of course, he now wants to change it to force people to take vaccines. I don't know entirely what the difference is still, but whatever. He's under pressure on it. He thinks that it's unconstitutional, and he's in the community, and he's wrong, and he pushed for it, and he got it, and there you go. Now, I am not a doctor. What I gave you last night was not a doctor's prescription. It was the evidence. I showed you the CDC, what they call it, wonder VARs, whatever. That is not, you have to be a doctor to look at that. That's just data. That's raw data. The data shows that vaccines are probably pretty benign. We also have the data, the history of vaccines. You may notice that we don't have outbreaks of polio anymore, thank God. My mother-in-law is a polio survivor. She was on an iron lung for like 12 weeks when she was a kid. It used to be a real thing. They used to have polio wards. She lost some, I don't know what exactly polio does, because again, I'm not a doctor, but she lost the strength in some of her muscles. And so another commenter said that he lost the use of some of the muscles in his chest and back. And yeah, I mean, it's scary stuff. We don't have that anymore because of vaccines. Vaccines work. They're proven to work. Now, not all vaccines work, and not all vaccines are exactly the same. But we have some real winners. We have real winners in vaccines. I had questions on herd immunity, and you're going to have to forgive me. My knowledge of herd immunity is somewhat limited. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional on this, but my basic understanding of herd immunity works like this. Number one, if everybody's vaccinated, the people who can't be vaccinated or for whom vaccines won't work, like people with suppressed immune systems, because a vaccine basically just readies your immune system to deal with the problem. It says, here's a bad thing. Get ready to fight it in case you ever meet it. Because some infections, some viruses, some bacteria, they do too much damage too fast for your body to naturally kind of build up to it. So the vaccine gives your body the blueprint on how to deal with it, so you're ready ahead of time. Layman's terms, probably not entirely accurate, but you get the idea. If your immune system can't respond to it, if your immune system is suppressed or whatever, otherwise weakened, then a vaccine won't help you. So having the herd immunized protects those people. It doesn't just protect you, it protects those people. Another real issue that is a thing is that viruses and bacteria, all living things evolve, they mutate, they change over time. Viruses can do it pretty fast. Apparently, the way your body reacts to a virus is it recognizes the protein coat over the outside shell of the virus. And some viruses can change that protein coat pretty rapidly. That's, from my understanding, one of the reasons why HIV was so hard to, or is so hard to create a vaccine for. Because normally you could just, the theory of vaccines is you just inject inert viruses, dead viruses that have the ability to infect people removed. They have their genes removed. So it's just a protein shell. You inject that into people. Their body's like, hey, this is bad. And it figures out how to attack that particular shell, that particular protein coat. And then when the real virus, a non-inert virus, goes in there, your body's already ready to fight it. And apparently that doesn't work for certain viruses. But anyway, my point was that viruses mutate. And if you provide a host for a virus, and not every person gets sick. Like off polio, it's like 95% of the people don't show any symptoms. 5% do. But if you're harboring that virus, then that virus may mutate inside of you and change its little protein coat or what have you, and may mutate in such a way that the people who have been vaccinated are no longer protected from it. So by simply allowing a space for that virus to live and multiply and reproduce and evolve and mutate, you do a great disservice to the world as a whole. You're being an a-hole. Was there something else I wanted to talk about? Maybe there was. Yeah, I still see people throwing out that one doctor who's an anti-vaxxer. That's not evidence. Oh yeah, $50 is still $50, I'm told. And so the Blue Cross paying doctors $50 to immunize people to make sure they've had their vaccine is, it's still them trying to financially incentivize the doctor. Well, yeah, so here's the way insurance companies work. They try to financially incentivize you to do things that are going to lower the insurance company's liability in the long run. And Blue Cross Blue Shield is an insurance company for whatever else you might think it is. It's an insurance company. And, just like your car insurance will be less expensive if you don't have an accident. And your car insurance will be less expensive if your headlights automatically come on. And your car insurance will be less expensive if you have airbags and all the other safety kind of equipment that make it less likely that the insurance company is going to have to pay out a large sum of money. It's exactly the same. If people are immunized against that, whatever it was that immunization shot was for, then people are going to be less likely to be sick. It is a lot more expensive than $50 for that insurance company to have someone hospitalized, sick with a real bad infection. It's worth it to them to pay the doctor $50 to make sure the immunizations are up to date, rather than to pay an ER unit tens of thousands of dollars a day to keep a kid on life support. Math, how does it work? Your boogeymen, if you're thinking that there's boogeymen everywhere, that there's some they that is trying to profit off of vaccines to the detriment of people, you have a lot of weight to shift. You have the evidence of vaccines working and reducing or eliminating certain diseases. That's problem one for you. Problem two is you have the evidence of next to no complications that are associated with, not attributed to, but associated with vaccines. And just because there's a possibility of death if you eat a ham sandwich. Congratulations. People choke to death every day off ham sandwiches. So, I guess I can't eat a ham sandwich anymore. Retards. So you have a lot of weight to shift. More weight to shift. And that the studies also have shown, there's a lot of studies on autism and vaccines, and there is no correlation between them. Vaccines don't cause autism. Sorry, kids, you've been lied to. And now I'm sure someone's going to try to say that I'm getting paid by Big Pharma or whatever. And I wish I was, because I drive a $10,000 car without cruise control. And I love it, honestly. I wouldn't trade it for anything except maybe a faster car with no cruise control. Anyway, I guess that's really it. I don't think I've changed. Yeah, I am talking about a slightly different subject, but it is something that someone in the community is bringing up. And there are a lot of stupid people in the community who do harbor a lot of stupid theories. I have Fathead, Eric the Fathead, I think he calls himself, trying to get me into a flat earth debate. I am going to end up just directing him to one of the many, many channels that uses science to debunk the flat earth nonsense. Simandan is a new and rising star. It's pronounced, or it's spelled S-C-I-M-A-N-D-A-N, Simandan, like Science Man Dan. But it's cool, it's Sci-Man, not Science Man. He uses science to debunk it. All that fun stuff. Anyway, my hand is literally frozen onto this phone, so I'm going to turn this off and put my hand in my pocket. Thanks for watching. Don't get excited, nasty. I'm not just going to keep it in there to get warm. I'm not going to play with it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.